Hey everybody, this is Shark Jump Inc. Welcome to our first video. I'm Corey, and when you try me on a starter receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're going to get. This is Shelby.
Hi there.
This is Dallas.
Hey everybody.
And this is Caleb.
How's it going?
Hold up. Crabtree's a 1,000-yard receiver, a Pro Bowl caliber guy. You were a junior varsity player at best. Do you think you'd cover Michael Crabtree?
Sports. Very much sports.
I really doubt that I could cover Michael Crabtree, but see the phrase popped in my head, so I decided to say it.
So you lied.
Right. I'm not actually going to cover NFL receiver Michael Crabtree. I'm actually a big fan of his. I think he's a very good player, but that's beside the point. Today we're here to review Spider-Man Homecoming. And how we're going to do that today is we're going to give you a little bit of non-spoilery type review. Then we're going to give you a spoiler warning. And then we're going to get into the real meat and how we felt about the movie with spoilers. And why don't you start, Shelby?
I guess I'll start then. Well,
He did tell you to.
the thing that's been on everybody's minds is Tom Holland, after his breakout performance in Captain America Civil War, where he played, Spider-Man. So now people are looking forward to his solo debut in Spider-Man Homecoming. And to say that he knocks it out of the park would be an understatement.
So what does he actually do?
Probably knocks it into a nearby lake or something.
Oh.
That's about the best I'd say.
Kid's got a hot bat.
Yeah, exactly.
Sports.
But seriously, Tom Holland is a revelation. I don't know if he's necessarily the best Spider-Man. I don't know if he's necessarily better than Tobey Maguire, but he does fit the character really well.
I mean, and besides even him, there was the kid who played Ned. I have no idea who that is. I've never seen him before, but he was great.
Mm-hmm.
Great comedic timing. He was hilarious.
Good goofball.
Yeah, Zendaya is always good. Marissa Tomei is Aunt May. Michael Keaton is a great Vulture. One of the better MCU villains I think we've had ever.
And
Absolutely.
And
He's
it's
just a
really,
good villain as is, not even just MCU.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the MCU has really struggled with villains, especially in the past.
And they really nailed it with Vulture because, he was conniving. Everything was planned. He was vicious. He didn't care about killing people. He was everything a good villain should be. And he wasn't overly cheesy.
And he had a motive, and a lot of things that make a good villain is they're their hero, and they can justify it for themselves. And he has justification for why he's doing this.
His family.
Exactly.
I was about to say, what I consider a good villain to be is when you know why they're the way they are. You know why Michael Keaton does what he does, and to me, that's a compelling character, not only compelling villain.
Right.
But enough about the Vulture, because he's not the star of this movie. It's Spider-Man. And Tom Holland, I haven't really gone into detail, but Tom Holland sells this character because, one, he's pretty young, unlike Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, who are both fairly in their late 20s. While Tom Holland's in his early 20s, but it looks like he's 15. And he really sells the difference between a regular high school life and just struggling with that life and struggling with his extraordinary superhero life. And I feel like that's something that a Spider-Man movie really hasn't nailed since Spider-Man 2.
I agree with that, and besides that, a big complaint I had with the two previous movies, the Amazing Spider-Man movies, is that I think anybody could have directed those movies. Those movies didn't really have any sort of stylistic tendencies to them. They didn't really. I feel like Caleb could have went over there and directed Spider-Man. Like Sony could have gave him notes.
I'm not good at directing.
And Caleb, I didn't know you never tried it. Caleb, and Caleb could have done about the same job. I think and not that Mark Webb is a bad director. I'm just saying it was very workmanlike. It was factory level. They pumped out a superhero movie.
Mm-hmm.
I would just not have Electro in the second one at all.
Well, yeah.
I'm not a bad person.
That's for a
Different video.
That's for a
Different
different
video.
conversation.
Yeah.
But no, what was I saying?
The stylistic choices for him.
Right, and John Watts really kind of puts his own stamp on this. It's a lighter version of the Raimi ones, it's a lighter version than the Garfield ones too.
Much lighter, actually.
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought pretty dark.
Yeah,
Very
actually,
very Snyder-like.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, not as dark as Snyder, but it definitely said, like, if you'd have took that and you said, like, that was a DC vision of Spider-Man, I'd have understood completely what you're saying.
I recently watched the Gwen Stacy because it came on recently, and the Gwen Stacy scene where she's dying, and the entire scene is actually like pretty much in slow motion, which is
Yeah.
exactly what Zack Snyder would have done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but let's not complain about the Spider-Man movies anymore. We can talk about that in a
They're
different.
okay movies.
We can talk about that in a different video.
I like them.
Let's talk about Spider-Man: Homecoming and how this is a big deal for the MCU. Both with the introduction of Spider-Man, since he had never really been introduced to this universe before, and now he's fighting alongside Iron Man and can talk about Thor and Captain America in the same movie.
I thought it was wonderful, honestly. I love Spider-Man. He's honestly one of my all-time favorite superheroes. And they brought him in here, and I thought they played it off perfectly because they gave Spider-Man his own standalone movie, but also connected it with Marvel enough by bringing in Iron Man, bringing in Happy. They connected it well enough, but they didn't overdo it. It wasn't like a Civil War deal where it was basically another Avengers movie. It was Spider-Man, and he had a little bit of Iron Man there to help him learn his ways because he's still a young superhero, and he still had to find out what he was really doing.
A nice little pinch of Iron Man.
I was gonna say it was the perfect amount. There was not too much Iron Man to like overshadow Spider-Man. So it was just like the perfect amount of integration with the current MCU, I thought. But besides that, like we're just talking up this movie. Did y'all have anything that y'all may have not liked or?
Well, I've said to us before is there's one scene. It's pretty early on in the movie, but it's a fight scene and it's just really like the lighting is really dark. It's just kind of hard to see what's going on. It's really quick, but other than that, the rest of the movie I loved it.
The Aunt May jokes got old, though. I mean,
Yeah.
we know she's a good-looking gal. But
Ooh.
you don't have to keep telling us. We got eyeballs. We can see it.
Ooh.
Shelby?
Yeah, I do have to agree about those May jokes. They did get some of them were funny, but sometimes they just kind of hit you over the head with it, like ha, we know Aunt May is hot, and you know. But admittedly, there aren't a whole lot of problems I have with this movie. Some of the MCU integration is a little off sometimes, and sometimes the plot's a little scattershot. But I don't really have a lot to complain about this movie.
What I have to say about this movie, occasionally, there's a lot of characters in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
That is true.
So
Fresh
some-
characters, too.
that was interesting. I thought there was a lot of new characters, but there's a lot of characters in this movie, and they don't always get their due. And overall, for me, it's a lot more of a character-driven movie. There are a lot of action set pieces, but it's a lot more of a character-driven movie. So the pacing for me tended to drag a little bit, and it felt
Yeah.
a little bit longer on the longer side to me. I don't know how y'all feel about that. That's just how it felt for me.
I can somewhat agree. Plus, in my opinion, the action set pieces were all fine to solid, but none of them were really stand out.
I agree. I didn't think any of them were like outstanding. I thought they were all well shot, like solid action set.
There
pieces.
isn't anything like the train scene and the train fight scene in Spider-Man 2, which is pretty,
Right.
Hey,
which is pretty amazing.
one thing, I wasn't big on the ferry scene. I'll be honest.
I did like the ferry scene.
I thought it was
liked it.
I thought it was an interesting way to try and play up like the train scene, or just other like the bridge scene, and what was it in the first Spider-Man? It was wasn't it also a boat still? Where he dangled. It was where
Yes,
he dangled a
He
boat.
dangled
off
a boat.
I thought it was an interesting
No,
way
it
to
was a
try.
car,
It was
and
a
he
car.
dropped it onto the boat.
Right, and dropped it onto. I thought that was an interesting way to try and maybe balance those two together, but I don't know, it kind of felt flat to me, or it seemed very forced.
And I do have to admit also that the final set piece, where
Don't
was-
reveal what it is.
yeah, no.
Yeah. We're not going to spoil the moment yet.
Yeah.
The final set piece with Spider-Man battling the Vulture is kind of underwhelming.
I agree. I thought I was kind of alone on that, but I don't want to say I didn't care, but like, I guess at that point when you had like them, like they probably fought the two of them 3-4 times during the movie. And when you get to that point, you know, it starts to get a little stale.
And I'll be honest, the end, that final fight, it seemed a little unrealistic. How they were fighting, you know, like you understand what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying.
I don't want to say too much right
Yeah,
now until we get to
exactly.
the end about
Yeah.
where they were fighting, but it just seemed a little unrealistic to me how they would accomplish
And
what they were doing.
yeah,
I was thinking, I'm pretty sure I was thinking the exact same thing.
It would
whenever
definitely be
happens.
an amazing feat.
It definitely,
Like it
yeah.
would.
and it does also go into that MCU problem where you overload the third act with a bunch of CGI, like just stuff going on and explosions, and that's a big problem that the MCU's had in previous movies. Not recently, like with Civil War or Doctor Strange, but that has been a problem that's plagued Marvel movies in the past.
So I think we can all agree that we thoroughly enjoyed watching this
Oh,
movie.
it's
Oh,
definitely a
absolutely.
recommend.
Fantastic
Definitely a
movie. I'd go
recommend.
see it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Don't skip it.
There isn't a I'd say it's easily the best Spider-Man movie since Spider-Man 2. Not that
Easily.
the other ones have
I'd
been
agree.
particularly recommendable, but
Amazing
I'd say
Spider-Man 1 or 2 are good.
Stop defending them. We have a whole video to defend.
I like Amazing Spider-Man 1. Amazing Spider-Man 2 isn't good. It's watchable.
We have a
though.
whole video to. We're hoping to get another video up at the same time about those topics.
You guys ready for the spoiler parts?
I think we're
I
ready.
think we're ready for. So
We all agree.
if you
Should go see it. Very good movie.
everybody should go see this
If
movie.
you haven't seen it, stop watching.
Stop watching right now.
Spoiler warning.
spoiler warning.
Lots of spoilers.
All right. All right, last warning. We're going to start talking about spoilers now. If you have not seen the movie, go away and come back later. Come back later.
Please come back.
Give us your
Finish
likes.
the video.
Subscribe to us. We're very new.
Yeah,
Anyway,
we need it.
okay, so now we're going to start. All right, you guys ready?
The fight scene
Yeah.
at the end, the plane.
Yeah.
There's no way they can Spider-Man's flying around and everything. It's
Absolutely.
amazing. He did hit the turbines at times.
He webbed it.
He webbed it. Okay.
Right.
But
Because that's what he was supposed to be shooting. He slammed
But he's
into
getting
it.
flown and thrown all the way around it. If you
My
also
main
notice,
thing is the plane crashed,
and
and it was fine for the most part.
yeah, I
Like,
guess
it
the
wasn't just
superhero,
totally obliterated.
but you saw him hit and flip and
Yeah.
roll and everything. He'd have broke
you can,
something.
You can say, oh, Spider-Man, he's stronger. He I assume he also has a somewhat healing factor.
Hey.
But Vulture's just a dude.
Yeah, Vulture's a
Vulture's
dude.
literally just a dude.
Right,
Just-
yeah.
just a
Another
dude
thing,
in a
you
suit.
can't factor in Spider-Man's got Iron Man suit because he was wearing his homemade suit at the time.
Yeah, he was.
Right.
So you don't have that factor either.
There was hopefully if you are watching this part, you've already seen the movie, so you know there was that really good twist towards the end of the movie where you
Oh.
find out that Michael Keaton is the love interest
Liz,
is her name? Yeah.
Liz.
Liz's dad.
When he goes to pick her up from
Exactly.
homecoming. That was insane. I was not expecting that at all.
Okay. This might be a controversial point. I agree. That came out of left field for me. I didn't expect that at all. When you take it, is it really important to the movie? When you take
I mean,
it,
I think it was interesting because
it was
at that point
interesting.
on, the viewer knows they're all right, I'm not going to get that same tired, worn out superhero cliche. The villain goes and captures the superhero's love interest.
Yeah.
And dangles her and going to kill her.
That's
Because the
true.
Vulture's not going to do that because it's his daughter.
Mhm.
So at that point, it's kind of okay, it's serious. And the Vulture, that's how the Vulture ended up finding out that that's who Spider-Man was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to
Because he
say
was listening,
because
so-
it ends up in this actually just standout scene where where Liz and Peter in the back of the Vulture's her dad, the Vulture's car, and they're just talking about DC and just everything that's going on. And Vulture, when Adrian Cube's the Vulture, he's just slowly piecing it together. Hey,
This guy's
kid-
Spider-Man.
This kid might be Spider-Man.
That was my favorite scene of the entire
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
It's when he's in the car.
You could
And
see
he's
all the gears
working out his
turn
dad.
through the rear view mirror. Because
Right.
that's a great just
Yeah.
look.
Yeah.
And then you get that dad talk
Yeah.
where he just throws
Pulls out
this
the gun.
vicious threat on
Mhm.
Peter Parker, and it was fantastic. Honestly, I thought it was an excellent twist, and I thought it was definitely something fresh for the
But
movie.
another thing that I do like about that scene is I compare it to other Spider-Man movies where it's just Peter Parker without his mask on, and someone sees him, and they're like, "Oh, so you're Spider-Man." And it was actually someone working it out, thinking about it.
Yeah, they actually use some logic.
Yeah.
I agree. Like that actually. Now that y'all say that, like it shows how smart Michael Keaton's character is, like how smart the Vulture is, and that he was just able to piece this together by himself. He didn't need it given to him. So yeah, y'all kind of swayed me on that.
The whole part when it's the car and like he's slow piecing out, Liz just keeps talking. I was just like,
Dude, I know she. I
It's
was like, dude,
like,
hit
shut
that
up,
girl, shut
shut
her up.
up.
She's ruining all
all
of this.
just like, yeah. Like I was just at my
She had
my
no
head,
clue.
my hands. I was just like, no.
I don't know if I mentioned how like funny this movie is,
Oh yeah.
It's
but this
very
movie's
fun.
hilarious. And when Tom Holland walks into the house and he sees Michael Keaton, and he's just staring at him and can't react to anything else. Not only does it portray like the fear that he actually is feeling at that moment, it's hilarious. Like it really is
it's
funny.
hysterical.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, it's good because it didn't throw off that there's something wrong with him to Liz. Like, Liz isn't going to see that and
Right.
be like, oh, whoa, something's wrong. She's just going to look at it and see, oh, he's scared that he met my father.
Right.
You know, it's something everyday and common that can be played off.
I just thought about when they were on like where he's on the plane and he's like, "Oh, I'm fighting my girlfriend's dad on like an invisible plane." I was like, "That's really like presumptuous."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that too.
You
You
just asked her
aren't
to a
dating yet, you
dance.
just think it's going to happen.
You just asked her to a dance.
Dude's optimistic, definitely.
Yeah.
Give him props on that, though.
Yeah.
Because he's what, he was 15?
Yeah,
So he's probably a sophomore.
He said he was a sophomore.
Yeah, all right, and then he's got a senior going to a dance with a senior. So props to the guy, man. I didn't even take a sophomore when I was a senior.
Hey, here's
She's
an
no Aunt
Avenger.
May.
If anyone was an Avenger, or if anyone would get a senior, it'd be him because he was an Avenger.
Right.
Right.
Well,
That's what Ned said.
Well, actually,
Ned.
but I mean, as we find out in the movie, he's not quite an Avenger. And then
Yeah.
and then Iron Man does offer him the chance to become an Avenger, but he turns it down so he
Yeah.
can be a street level superhero.
Right. Speaking of which, what y'all think of the Pepper surprise?
I was really.
I was
funny.
amazed.
I was
Threw me
so
off.
It was
dude.
a funny scene, and
It
I'm
was
amazed.
hilarious.
I'm amazed she's
Yeah.
back.
That
Like,
was
like
oh,
Gwyneth Paltrow wanted to do it. And
Are you
Yeah.
sure like she'll stay back though?
No.
Okay,
No, I think that was
don't.
just-
I don't think so either.
I don't expect to see her ever again,
Yeah.
but that one scene was awesome.
If there's an Iron Man 4, I'm sure they'll throw just
Yeah.
like,
She's off in
a
the Galapagos
invisible
Islands.
jet full of
Yeah.
cash at her.
Yeah, there's no way.
But yeah, it's like expecting Natalie Portman to be in Thor Ragnarok. It's not going to happen.
No, I think she's pretty much done. That's what I thought she was done with it.
Yeah.
I was very surprised that she was back.
It was definitely funny. It caught me off guard.
Yeah.
All right, now you said your whole like your dislike with the kind of twist part. Like I said earlier, my only really thing that I 100% love about the movie is one of the first fight scenes with Vulture. I believe it's the first one, right?
Yeah,
It's
I
definitely
said
the first one. It's
Yeah.
where he
Picks
him
him up and
takes
he
him
like
in the air.
flies him super high,
Mm.
and I felt like that whole part once they like get into the air, you just couldn't see what was happening, especially
Very
once
hard to
the
see.
chute deployed. Like I didn't notice that he was tangled up in the chute until he was in the water and couldn't get out.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, he's tangled up in the suit. That's what happened, or the parachute.
Chute,
That's what
yeah,
happened.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't lit very well.
Yeah, like wasn't lit very well. It's kind of like fast cuts.
Yeah.
Which I can understand because like you're flying through the air and stuff like that, but still.
You know, we'd like to know what's going
Exactly.
on.
I would like to watch it.
This doesn't have anything to do with the. Oh, were you gonna say something?
No, go ahead. I was just leaning up.
All right. This doesn't have anything to do with the actual movie, but I know, like, it's kind of a nerd thing. How did y'all feel about the suit?
I like the
I
suit.
really like the
like
suit.
I like the Avengers suit. I
The Avengers
That
suit was
that
badass.
awesome.
Really
that
was.
looked really great.
I
I
was
saw
like-
that one. I was like, that's awesome.
Whenever it started, I was like, he's not going to become an Avenger, but I really want to take the suit.
I
Right.
did
Like,
want to take
hey,
the suit.
take
I was
the
kind of
I
hoping
thought
when
he
he
was
got
just
the
gonna
bag.
turn around.
Yeah.
I thought when he opened the bag, it was gonna be the Avengers
Yeah.
suit. Oh no!
Would've been
But
so
I love how they fit in the wing or the webbing
Yeah.
Right.
for the
good. Yeah, that
because
is really
that's
cool.
that was really cool.
What else can the suit do?
That was awesome. I really enjoyed that.
Catherine. is that
Karen.
Karen.
Karen. All the
yeah.
interactions with Karen were really funny.
That was Jennifer Connelly. I saw
Really?
that in the credits.
Oh,
Now's
really?
your moment. Tell her. Just falls.
Yeah, that was funny. I'm
Yeah.
glad. I love how they teased that scene though. Like he's upside down. She's
Yeah.
like, kiss her.
Yes.
They teased the iconic kiss in
Yep.
the rain upside down.
Yeah!
They saved her.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Like I love that, and I was like, oh, they're teasing it, and he just plummet. Like that was awesome. I love that. That was great.
I noticed that too, but I thought about it. I was like, this would be a weird
Yeah.
I know, and that's why he fell. I mean, like they realized they didn't
Oh, yeah,
force
yeah.
anything extra into it.
I thought it was funny.
But yeah, going back to the comedy, this film's like funnier than most studio comedies.
It really was.
It might be funnier than Guardians. Like, it's really funny.
It was extremely enjoyable.
It's funnier than the majority of Marvel movies, at least. Like Doctor Strange was one that I felt kind of forced the humor a bit.
Definitely, because he's a serious character, and it just seemed like a lot of his humor that came from Doctor Strange, it wasn't necessarily forced, but it came from unfunny characters. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a lot of it
Like,
was just like I caught you off guard. Like what's his
I can't. The bad
the
guy
librarian, or
Oh.
even the back, but like the
Oh,
librarian. What was his name?
Wong.
Wong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Beyonce?
he's not like a funny guy, but like he'd say stuff that was funny
Right.
because it caught you off
But
guard.
there's also like the main bad guy. He's like Mr. and he's like Doctor. And he's like, oh, Mr. Doctor.
Mr. Doctor.
Yeah.
No,
That's my
Strange.
favorite. That's my favorite joke.
Yeah. Like
Strange.
Like yeah.
Well, you're the one who said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole
It's like, who am I to
exchange.
kill?
That was
Yeah.
great.
Like he's not like supposed to be a funny character.
But yeah, Spider-Man's humor does come naturally though, because it's mostly just kids being kids saying what they feel, and then there's also just a bunch of talented older actors, some of them based in comedy, and some of them not.
Yeah. They have like the whole like high school like the kill bang Mary thing and just like
Yeah.
the high school talk.
There was a big high school. Wait, one thing we're definitely forgetting to talk about: the Captain America videos.
They were hilarious.
Those were three. We're gonna go into spoilers.
Yeah.
The post credit scene. All three of those were hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I see you landed yourself in gym class. You found your way to detention. Yeah, that all of those were hilarious.
And then rewards with patience.
Yeah.
Those were so funny.
I mean, one of these.
What I would like to point out is like everybody who was in high school. Not only did they look like they were in high school,
They
they
acted
talked like they were. In
They
high school.
acted like they were in high school. They carried themselves like they
Right.
were in high school.
It wasn't like the last two Spider-Man, Maguire and Garfield, where a lot of people were themselves and a lot of people around them looked like they were in their 20s or
Like how
30s.
Gwen looked like she's graduating from college, not high school.
Right,
In Amazing Spider-Man 2.
right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, and a lot of times you'll see like these characters, and it's just they're high school based, but they're very well developed characters. But that's just not how high schoolers are.
Mhm.
They're not fully developed, so they should develop all the way through. You shouldn't have a fully developed character or an extremely like. I don't want to say intelligent because that's not the right word. These kids are smart high schoolers. They go to a prestigious, like a special school. They're going to be very book smart, but they didn't all act like they were street and life smart
Yeah.
because they aren't yet, and they shouldn't be. Like you see Spider-Man, like he'd go out there and he'd find himself in a situation. He didn't work a way out and find the answer to the problem instantly because he shouldn't. He's not that smart. Like I said, he's a new superhero, fresh in the game, and that was a refreshing thing to see.
Okay. So we're running low on time here. We are taking a lot of time, more time than I expected. So I'm gonna start wrapping this up. Basically, I just wanted to ask before we start getting into the review portion. How'd y'all feel about? We talked about the second post-credit scene. It was like
Right.
Captain America. How'd y'all feel about the first post-credit scene, and what do y'all think that meant?
It leads to intrigue because Matt Gargan makes an appearance early in the movie, not in costume or anything, because he
Right.
is Scorpion in the comics. He also has a brief stint as Venom, but I'm not gonna. That doesn't really matter. He's mainly known as Scorpion. But yeah, he shows up in jail with Adrian Toomes, the Vulture, and he hears a rumor that the Vulture knows Peter Parker's identity, but the Vulture doesn't let it go because he saved his life at the end of the fight.
Because he said at one point, whenever he had the dad talk,
Yeah.
he was like, "You saved my daughter's life, so
Right.
like I'm gonna give you like a chance to save your
Exactly,
life."
and he
basically.
saved him, so he was
exactly.
giving him another chance. But the thing with the Scorpion that I love about the Scorpion is I love the fact that we're getting all these new villains.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You got the Vulture, you got the Shocker.
You got
Yeah.
the
Sort of.
You got the
kinda got
You
the
got
Shocker.
a shocker.
You got a Shocker.
I feel like he's gonna factor in a little bit more as we go.
I hope so. But like the thing with the
and you also-
Scorpion,
and you also got the Tinkerer. He was a scientist.
Yeah.
He was
Right.
working on all the
Right.
weapons.
and the thing,
that was the Tinkerer.
yeah.
Oh, that never even.
Yeah.
occurred to me.
Yeah, he just
But-
didn't look like a really old man or anything.
That's probably why it didn't occur
Yeah,
to me. But,
but
yeah.
like you think you get with the Scorpion, it's a fresh new villain, and I love these fresh characters, and that's what's going to keep the series going. Is you don't keep getting the repeat. Like the reason why they didn't do the Uncle Ben is we didn't have to see it again. We already knew
We
it
didn't need
happened.
Uncle
They're
Ben.
milking on that Green Goblin.
Right, and that's the Scorpion. And the thing I love about that scene, it already establishes the Scorpion as a dangerous man. To go up there to a well-known criminal such as the Vulture and directly talk in his face like that, it established him as a dangerous man.
Another thing, it established that like underworld, like all these guys know each other.
Right.
They knew each other prior.
Because
Right.
they all have this weapons deal.
Yeah.
It's not just gonna be
where
like
they-
this 3 movies where it's unconnected, where none of the villains know each other. It's like, no, everybody knows everybody. They live in a small city.
Yeah, they're all probably based on some sort of Chitauri technology from, and it all leads back into the first Avengers when
I
they
do
first
like
invaded New York.
the guy that plays Scorpion. I've only like I guess heard him in Far Cry 3, but he plays like a great villain in that. So I really hope Scorpion's the main villain of the next Spider-Man. And because if so, I'm really
He
excited.
gives an amazing voice performance in
Yeah.
Far Cry 3.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
And,
know
like-
what that has to do with the next movie, but like he's great in it.
Yeah.
And also, seeing what I saw with the Vulture, what they did with his suit, because I thought the suit and the wings were pretty awesome.
Mm.
I can't wait to see how they treat the Scorpion. I
Yes.
think that's going to be
That's
awesome.
gonna be great.
But even if it isn't the Scorpion, there's still like a really large rogues gallery
Mysterio.
full of great Spider-Man villains like Mysterio, Craven
We're
the
gonna get
Hunter,
Carnage. We're gonna get Carnage.
Craven the Hunter, just lots of different. Well, Mr. Negative's a newer one.
What about Chameleon?
Chameleon.
We'll ever get
Praying-
Chameleon?
Praying on that Mysterio. Okay, so y'all about ready?
Yeah.
Let's score this. Let's score this shiz.
All right. So
Shelby?
I'm leaning towards probably an 8.4
Dallas?
I
out of 10.
love the movie. It was great. It was awesome. It's probably one of my favorite ones that I've seen, but purely because of the character and how much I just enjoy Spider-Man. But compared to all the rest of them and how they all stack up, I'm gonna go 8.3 B+ on it.
I'm exactly with you. I thought it was, as a Spider-Man fan, it was a very solid adaptation of it, and I'm exactly with you. I'm at an 8.3.
B+.
well, I'm surprised I'm the highest. I'm gonna go 8.5.
That doesn't
Not-
surprise me.
Yeah, I'll say not much higher.
We're
but,
all on the same
Yeah.
range.
Yeah, we're all the same. We all liked it
Yeah.
about the same. I'm kind of surprised, actually.
Yeah.
but I just really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the other Spider-Mans.
Mhm.
I also enjoyed the Amazing Spider-Mans.
A
I do just like the character a lot. I've watched some of the TV shows, not a whole lot, but I love the Spider-Man. I thought Tom Holland did what were we gonna say?
Have you never seen the cartoon?
I have.
The
Oh,
90s
okay.
one?
All right, that's what
The
I'm saying.
90s
Yeah.
cartoon?
90s
I don't know
cartoon.
about
the
the 90s.
90s
I don't know
cartoon.
about the 90s cartoon. I'll
Dude, you gotta
watch.
watch the 90s.
Oh.
I know it doesn't relate to the video.
Yeah.
90s cartoon.
Alright.
Make sure you watch
Oh,
it.
and
We'll do a video on the
Oh,
90s
and-
cartoon someday.
and Spectacular Spider-Man. That's a really
Yeah,
good
so
one.
Tiger
Also
Spider-Man, I
true.
believe I've watched. Or I think I actually might have seen a lot of the 90s one. I really
The
liked
90s
it.
one's great. I love that one. I
But
grew
anyway-
up watching it.
Like I thought Tom Holland did just like a great Spider-Man,
Yeah.
Peter Parker.
Definitely.
Like I don't know, he's
He
probably
could be the best we've ever
He
seen.
could
He
be.
could be.
I think.
I don't want to say
think-
that yet.
I don't
because-
But he's
I'm
building the
sticking
foundation.
to it. It's my favorite.
He's building the foundation of taking the best of Andrew Garfield and the best of Tobey Maguire. Because Tobey
Tobey
Maguire
Maguire's
was
faces, right?
yeah, definitely the faces and his jazz. All right, but
Slick black hair.
8.5.
Yeah, 8.5.
So we're
Like,
all on the same
I do
range.
really agree with what you said. Like, I liked Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, and I liked Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker, and this kind of
Yeah.
seemed like the combination.
He's kind of
of both.
taking both of them, right?
Yeah. He's more
And he's also
quippy.
doing his own thing. Like, yeah.
Right. He's putting his own twist on it.
He's more quippy, but he's he's not like a hipster kind of guy. He's still kind of a loser.
Yeah. Somehow.
Yeah, I don't know how he's a loser.
Antisocial.
Very
that's my
handsome,
guess.
very ripped man. Anyway, all right. So that's our Spider-Man Homecoming review. Go see it. Somewhere between an 8.3 and an 8.5. You got a variety of opinions up here. Go see it and watch our other videos and subscribe.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.